on the space station of Mimas as a liaison for the Earth Embassy, working with many alien races.
Jean-Charles Moyen, Franco-American SSP, aboard the Solaris spaceship, a part of the Solar Warden. My mission, protection and rescue slaves on other planets.
Rebecca Rose, Psychic Super Soldier, Moon, Mars, Kuiper Belt, and beyond.
Namaste. I'm Yana Prakash. I am a multidimensional healer, work directly with the Andromeda Council, and infinite creations through the oneness with all that it is.
We know if you won't tell them the truth, we will. Hi, I'm James Rink, founder of the Super Soldier Talk podcast, Healing Soul Survivors 501c3, and now the Super Soldier Activation Conference. Since 2010, I have dedicated myself to documenting the untold stories of the secret space program. I have brought awareness of milabs, also known as military abductions, MK Ultra, Monarch, and Montauk programming. Join us for the 2025 Super Soldier Activation Conference in Orlando, Florida, from October 8th to the 12th. Experience 4 days of groundbreaking discussions with over 25 courageous secret space program veterans. Choose General Admission, VIP Silver, or VIP Gold tickets on your journey into hidden truths. Secure your spot now at supersoldiercon.com. Hello, everybody. As you can see, Carrie Ann Thornton is not here with us yet. I'm hoping she'll show up. But I assembled a team of people here that I believe in this last minute notice can talk a little bit more about med beds. So let's go ahead and introduce our first guest. Tomas Alvin served 20 years and back on several of those career return programs in the secret space program. During this time, he was a super soldier, deep cover military intelligence asset, a private contractor, logistic officer, maintenance officer, and a dark fleet mechanic. He was stationed in the Galactic Rim aboard the El Chappo, as well as on the Hyperion Station and the Horizon, which was in the Yozora No Kyushu. So that was a command carrier. So we also have Debbie, and I don't have your bio. So Debbie, why don't you just introduce yourself real quick? I'm going to start by muting yourself. And by the way, my name is James Rink. For those of you who don't know, I am a super soldier. I'm also the host of Super Soldier Talk and the Super Soldier Activation Conference coming up this October 8th to 12th in Orlando, Florida. So you can get your tickets at supersoldiercon.com. Thank you. Debbie?
I'm here.
Okay.
Hi, James.
Yeah, so go ahead and give maybe do a little background information about med beds or whatever your connection is with Sky Prince, and we'll go from there.
Sure. Thanks for having me, James. And hi, Tomas. And thank you for your service to both of you. Appreciate it. And Semper Fi from a Marine wife and mother. So the reason that we actually met is I've been looking into med beds for quite a long time. And I am a film investor and film producer. But I am definitely awakened, and I'm an intuitive coach. And I really wanted to understand what medbeds were all about. So I also am a research outreach specialist. So I started researching on my own, and all of a sudden I started getting all this information that was contradictory to me. And so I decided that I was going to take that battle and figure out what medbeds really were, what they were about. Were they free? Did you have to pay for them? Did it have to do with the illness you had? Was it a scam? If it wasn't a true scam, who was actually giving the right information? So I did a lot of research for a long time, and finally, I think I had 42 Facebook groups that I was in, and I don't know, 20 messenger groups, talking, looking every day, trying to figure out who I believed was real, who was AI, what they were telling me, researching what they were telling me. And finally, one day, in one of the groups I was in, they put out phone numbers. Now, one of the things that I saw about medbeds was medbeds were free. They would be at military bases, which I've been military all my life. Um, and so it was kind of like, okay, well, that makes sense. Um, and that they would be putting out a national phone number when it was time. So when I saw the phone numbers, I was like, oh, maybe this is real. So I went in to go copy all the phone numbers and put it in a file. I had to take care of something, came back, and my file was gone. Couldn't find the numbers, they were gone. I was like, okay, that was kind of weird. So I tried on 2 phones and a laptop, and I still couldn't find them. A couple of days later, I went back, and they then had emails. And they only had a couple of emails. And I think it was like the United States, Canada, Mexico. And I took those emails and copied them. A couple of days later, I came back, and there were like 10 different countries, and it kept growing and growing and growing. And then I started writing to these emails. Some of them were AI generated. Some people were talking back. At least I think they were people. But one of them said, well, let me send you an application. And I'm like, okay, great. So they sent me an application, and they were very, I don't know how to put it. They were very secretive of how to pay money for medbeds in this first go around. So it didn't say on the application, give us your credit card information so we can take the $300. It didn't say that. What it said is, give us all your information, send it to us. Then they emailed me, and then they gave me the option where I could send a money order, which I don't do, Bitcoin, which I haven't done yet, and something else that I still wasn't very comfortable. But there was no credit cards. There was nowhere to track, right? Oh, a bank transfer. So I did a bank transfer. I figured the safest thing to do is a bank transfer, because if it is a scam, my bank's going to help me, take down the fraud, which they did in fact do. So we did get some down. But I did this bank transfer, and they gave me a name of a person. Now, again, I told you I was a research outreach specialist. So I took that name, and I didn't stop till I figured out who this person was, where they lived, who their mother was, who their siblings were. I have pictures of the house. I mean, I know everything about this person. But I went ahead and sent that money and got something back that said, okay, you're in the queue now for medbeds. And I'm like, okay, what does that mean? So I kept waiting. I didn't hear anything. I didn't see the money clear my bank. So that kind of bothered me. I called the bank, and they said, no, it's still sitting there. And I said, okay. And then I wrote back and said, I live 20 minutes from a military base. I can just skedaddle right over to that military base and tell them I'm signed up for a med bed. And I figured they would just go ballistic over that. But they didn't. They were like, oh, don't worry about that. We'll get you all set in. We'll get your appointment. And I'm like, okay, great. So then I kept waiting, and I kept waiting, and I kept waiting. Well, then all of a sudden they started talking about this QFS. And I'm like, QFS? Are you talking like the quantum financial system? And they're like, yes. And I said, I already paid you. I don't understand. And they said, well, you just need to get a quantum MasterCard. And I'm like, a what? And they said, a quantum MasterCard. So is there, as I'm reading this email, I'm taking my phone and I'm searching where and what is a quantum MasterCard? Where do you get it? How do you get it? And you only get it in one country, and it's overseas, and not a country we really deal with a lot. And I'm like, oh, hell no, excuse my language. And I said, so I'm going to play this out anyway and really play dumb. So I did. I played dumb. I made spelling mistakes. I acted really stupid. And so I said, I don't know what that is. And they said, oh, well, it's this. And I said, okay. And I said, well, where do I get one? At the bank. Well, what bank? Because I called my bank. They don't know about it. They don't have it. And then they're like, oh, well, we can send you an address. So they sent me an address. I clicked on the address, and I got a warning of do not continue to this website. right? So I screenshot that as well. And then I wrote back and said, I'm sorry, I'm having problems. I just can't get through. And they said, well, you can click here and go get a Quantum MasterCard. Well, it ended up being a app that they sent me to, and I'd have to look up the name for it, but it was a Bitcoin app, sorry. And it was a wallet. And I had never heard of that Bitcoin wallet. But they told me to get the app, go into the Bitcoin wallet, and then put in my $500, and then they would give me $500 Quantum MasterCard that I could then go pay them another $500. So at that point, I'd be in $800 for a med bed. And I'm like, okay, sure, no problem. So I tried to do it, and I did have issues trying to get the app. So I screenshot it, showed it to them, and they're like, oh, well, we'll get back to you. So it took about 12 hours every time they'd get back to me, but they always could get back and give me more information of something they wanted me to do, right? So then they said, well, we're sorry. We'll keep you for an appointment, but you're probably going to be last of the list because you didn't do what we told you to do. And I said, you told me to do a bank draft. I did a bank draft. I did exactly what you told me to do. Well, yeah, but it didn't work. And I said, that's not my fault, right? And they said, well, we told you to go get QFS and you couldn't get it. We told you to get a Quantum MasterCard. You didn't do it. And I'm like, well, you don't even have that information on the application. So anyway, I didn't want to lose them. So I apologized profusely. And then I just again started acting stupid and said, what else can I do? Right? Can I give you a credit card? No, just the Quantum one. And they're like, well, you could send us money through Zelle. And as soon as they said that, boy, every hair in my body went up. Because if you send money in Zelle and it's a scam, you don't get it back. Same with Venmo. 2 seconds later, it's Venmo. And I'm like, uh-huh. And I said, oh, you know what? I've got PayPal. I can send you money right now. Literally right now. And so nothing's, you get the 3 dots, you sit there and stare at it, and nobody says anything. Come back 12 hours later, and they said, here's a name, send us PayPal. I said, great. So they gave me a name of a person, Tammy Robinson. And I clicked on her and I sent her the $500, and immediately a warning came up on PayPal. Huge warning, right? This could be a scam, because first of all, they told me you can't send it like business. You have to send it as friends and family. So that, of course, put up a red flag. But by this time, I knew it was a scam. I was just trying to figure out who they were, how to get them, how to bring them down, how many people were involved, how many websites were involved, right? So that I could tell other people. And I saw that. So then PayPal sent, if you want to continue here. So I clicked continue, and then I went to the business one and I sent them the money, and it went through. But I got a thing back from them very angrily. You did not follow directions again. We told you to send it through friends and family, and you sent it business. And I said, I'm sorry, they wouldn't accept it, friends and family. And here's the screenshot. So I sent them the screenshot, right? So they wrote back to about 15 minutes later and said, you closed our account. You made our account close. And so they sent me a screenshot, right? Well, then I get an email from PayPal and says, thank you for bringing down the scam. And they had over 21,000 people who had paid money or tried to pay money to PayPal within a 48-hour period. That's how they knew something was very wrong, right? But I mean, how stupid do you have to be to give out your PayPal to every single person, right? Send money, right? To a name. So anyway, that one's gone. You don't have to worry about it. But what I'd like to tell the audience is, I did finally get my money back. I wasn't worried because I would have given it up just to find the scams. I have talked to Carrie Ann Thornton through Messenger. I have watched her. I've watched many, many, many hours of live video with her. She is quite a character. Um, I do believe that what she is saying is the truth. I do believe that she's been hacked so many times. I do believe people have stole her identity. Um, I mean, I know for a fact that I saw a video live get put on YouTube that her words were changed. And I know for a fact because I sat and watched it. So
Got
I
it.
know,
So wait, hold on, Debbie. Thank you.
yeah,
I just wanted an intro. So as far as that's concerned, Carrie has mentioned that through the use of AI now, people have changed their words and told people to go to this scammer over here, and so on. So it's a huge problem. And Carrie just messaged me that she forgot and that she's currently doesn't have good internet. So I'm really sorry for your loss, Debbie. Unfortunately, no matter how smart you think you are, the scammers always figure out a way to outsmart you. I can say that from experience, but maybe one day when we actually do have a quantum financial system, we can go after these scammers, and I think they should be thrown in some kind of pit, or they can just burn in hell. They're the worst scummus of the worst people out there, taking advantage of others like that who just trying to want to get healed. Okay, would you want to wrap that story up? Anything else you want to mention?
the only thing is that I've got a couple of links. If you guys want to know what is real for Carrie Ann Thornton, there basically is only two Facebook links that she has. One is her name, and give me 1 second so I make sure that I give you the right one. It probably will have horses as a profile picture. She's big into horses, which is a good way for you to know if you really are, talking to Carrie Ann because she talks about horses and shows horses. She also is into a form of karate. She's a master, and so she talks about that quite a bit as well in between med beds. But it is her name. So it is Carrie, Kerrie, dash Ann, and then Thornton, Thornton. And how you know it's real, she only has like 350 friends. Okay? Not thousands and thousands. And I don't know if she'll add you, but that's how you know it's real. Then her other group that you could try to join is military med beds. Underneath it says official. It's a private group. It has 24,000 members right now. Also, another clue for that is that her her partner, her friend Adela, Adela Ronca, runs that page, and you will see her name on there. Those are the two. She has a Telegram as well. However, Telegram, so many people have hacked her in there that I'm not quite sure what she's done with that right now. So if I were you, I would try to get into the military medbed private group first, go listen to what she has to say, her and Adela both, and then find out if they will give you that telegram. She also has a email address that she gives out, but I would again ask in that group. And that's it, gang. There is no others. So the other, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds out there, they're all scams. She does have a YouTube that I believe is it Sky Prince again, or is it Carrie Ann? I think it is Carrie Ann Thornton. And it should have the same profile picture. I'm looking right now. It should have the same profile picture. I told her try not to change it so much because people get confused. Um, Let me see, Carrie Ann Thornton. And right now it's got, yeah, again, it's got a picture of a white horse in it. And it is her name, Carrie Ann Thornton. It says that she has 77.9K subscribers. But all her live videos are on there. So she does come on every other day or so live, and you will know it is her talking when she's live. So that's the biggest information, and I appreciate that, James, because out of everything, that was the main thing I wanted people to know. There's only 3 or 4 places that are real, besides you guys, right? Besides super soldiers and you, James. But when it comes to Carrie Ann, only go there. Anything else, I don't care how good it sounds, how real it sounds, whoever you think it might be, it is not. Okay? And thank you for that time. I appreciate it. I'm just going to sit back, and if you need anything, just let me know.
Wow, thank you for that. So yeah, as far as I'm aware, I don't know if Carrie really wants people to find her on that Facebook page, but we'll have to wait and see. We'll set up a new interview and we can get to the bottom of this. So, Tomas, how are you doing?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, loud and clear.
Okay. Yeah. Do you remember during Trump's first term, he actually tried out a med bed and said, "Wow, this is amazing," and he never heard anything about it since.
Well, that was for like a cancer center, and that what all it was. That was conventional technology, from what I'm aware of. And
It looked like a med bed.
yeah.
Let me save what I'm working on. File save. I have a 3D model of a med bed actually. Let me see if I can find it.
Okay, so Tomas, what we're going to share today is a little bit from what your memories of your service in the secret space program, what a medbed is, how it works, maybe, and any other kind of technologies that you would like to share.
Well, the ones I'm aware of is the one where they use like cellular resolution holograms and tricks the body into, like, instead of forming scar tissue, tricks it into regrowing. Um, and one of my alters, like, put it this way, was captured by the bad guys and rescued, and she ended up having spent like a week in the med bed. So, and that was my alter, Tanya.
Okay, so how about we start with what are the different types of med beds from your memories?
For I remember specifically, like there's like the holographic one, and I think like you have to keep absolutely still, or they like put you in a form of suspended animation while it works on you if it's like a prolonged procedure. Um, Now, if it's something that's acquired, the med bed will fix it. But if something that's genetic or congenital, it's part of the genome, so it'll fix it as is. Like one of my alters, like Autumn, her genetic sample was kept on ice too long, and the result was a damaged Hox gene. So her arms never developed past her shoulders, and it doesn't matter. The med beds won't do anything to fix that because it's a genetic condition. She was born like that. So
Okay, so the limitations of the medbed technology that you've encountered anyway is that it modified the genome.
If the genome is already modified, like if somebody's born with a congenital condition, it won't fix it because it's genetic.
Okay, can it help like I don't know? Some people are asking change your skin color or your.
Yeah, they do that, especially for like espionage work. They'll make you look like an ET species. They'll genetically turn you into one.
Okay, but so the way they do that is they would have to insert the code from some other source, right? And then it's not part of or it is part of your genome from the past.
I guess it's interwoven somehow. Like I don't know exactly how they do it. Like, but yeah, if they want to send somebody on, depending on, especially if it's like a human variant species, it's easier. Like if you went undercover as a lion, for example, it would be pretty easy to turn you into one.
Okay, great. Wow, did they ever do that to you?
They did that to Tanya. Yeah.
What, turn her into a lion?
Yeah, she went undercover as a lion.
Oh, you mean a lyran, not lion?
Yeah.
And what? So
Lyran, yeah, and
what's the?
those are human variant species, despite the common misconception they are not felines.
Oh, okay.
In fact, if I didn't know any better, I swear Ron Perlman was a Lyran.
And why is that?
He's got the facial features for one.
Okay. Well, how about that? Well, I pull up a picture of who is it? Ron who?
Ron Perlman, spelled
Okay.
phonetically.
Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, I know. Okay. I don't
That's the
know. I
reason
don't
why.
know him personally, but yes, I'm
The
aware of that.
reason why they're known as lion people is because of their facial features. And if you look at a picture of Ron Perlman from Beauty and the Beast, he didn't need any prosthetic makeup. That was just, you know,
Look at that.
yeah.
Okay.
Look him up for Ron Perlman, Beauty and the Beast,
Okay.
or Ron Perlman, Vincent.
Vincent,
Yeah,
do you want to be okay? Oh yeah.
like I said, none of that was prosthetic makeup. Those are all his own facial features.
Oh wow.
You can see, like, especially now with high resolution video, and you get a close up look. You can't, except for his eyebrows, maybe.
Okay. So they do look like cat people.
Well, it's because they're known as lying people because of their facial
Yeah.
features.
Okay. Very good. So let's go to the next question here. Um. Oh, it wasn't a question. Actually, I wanted to share something. So there was a mission that they put me on. Now I was put into these avatar bodies, so I don't think they like. I mean, maybe they could. It's almost like they took the genetics of, say, a reptilian. They would put my DNA into it. So in order for your consciousness to enter into that avatar, you would have to have some of your DNA, right? So
Well, an avatar is almost like the movie Avatar. It's like not your physical body; it's another physical body that you can control with your mind.
exactly. And by the way, Jimmy Payne says he's been to Pandora, and that movie is a documentary. What do you think about that, Tomas?
I do remember a planet that had a naturally occurring element that was counter gravitational, and it created like floating islands and like Flying Dutchman.
Oh yeah, that stuff's real.
Yeah.
Okay, so to finish my story, so I was put into this reptilian body, right? And so this flashback of memory, I see myself, uh, what I think was Orion Prime. There was like these spires, skyscrapers that stretch to the sky, like in Corsican, right? Star Wars. And I delivered a message of what the Cabal's capabilities are. Here, I'm sorry, Thomas. There's like feedback coming up. So what the Cabal's, and so there was a list, like there was 300 ships. There was a list about like 150,000 people a year being abducted by the Greys, and they have this little receptacle they would go to a male, right? So, and then take the DNA and they would genetically modify it, and then they would go to a female, and they were going around doing all this. So anyway, so that's just one. But that's not the only thing, right, Tomas? We have something called Lixodaden. You know about Lixodaden?
No. I do know that Tanya went undercover one time with this human variant species. But unlike us, the females go in the heat once a month. And so try to keep this as delicate as possible. She jerry rigged the vacuum pump.
Oh wow. Okay,
It worked.
what's going on
Believe
with
it or
that?
not, it actually worked.
I'm sorry. What vacuum pump? What are you talking about?
Think of it in terms of a sex aid.
Oh, okay. Well, I know. Okay, Tomas. So yeah, so certainly your altars were used in that. Okay.
She had to get creative in that scenario.
All right. Thank you. So very interesting. Well, let's go back to the technology here. So Debbie, did you have any questions? Otherwise, I think I might just. You want to jump in? You have questions for
It's
Tomas?
been it's been really interesting. I'm just kind of taking it all in, and I'd love to hear more. It's pretty fascinating.
Okay, sure. Let's go back to the next. So, what other type of technologies, Tomas, do they have related to med beds? So, what about
Really?
regen tanks?
Well, I've seen like a field unit for a med bed. It's like something you can fit over a broken limb and repair it. It's like a small miniaturized version of it.
They call that the Meditech thing device. So it has like
Yeah,
so they would have a gurney that could levitate. They would just push it, push it so it levitates, and then of course they would have like a portable tourniquet if they needed one, or even maybe even put you in stasis, perhaps.
yeah, and things like an emergency syringe full of protein in case somebody's starving, and they literally inject it right into the stomach.
Okay,
I've seen that. Um,
certainly. All right. So we've got what about regen tanks?
yeah, regen tanks. It's they also use it to genetically alter somebody, like unless it's too different and have to use an avatar. Like they'll repurpose the regen tanks to make somebody like a different human variant species. So like you go into the regen tank as you, but if they want to make you into an Alterran, you come out with blue skin and red eyes.
Oh wow, you think they could even change your sex?
Well, one of the things they do is they'll make a clone and at the zygote stage alter the chromosomes, which is how they made my female alters.
Oh wow, and
Yeah, like I have at least 30 clones and 15 of them are females.
wow, that must
And what they do is they'll keep it like at an embryonic stage and then implant some unsuspecting surrogate to carry the child. And sometimes they'll age reduce them to have them aged at like 3 or 4 years old and adopt them out.
okay. Wow. You would think they have technology to regenerate them at a accelerated rate, right? So there's a disease called pygoria. I hope I'm saying that right, where these children would age so fast. So like by 7 years old, they look elderly, and they actually do die young. So by studying that, they can figure out a way to accelerate aging, also to de-age, right, or re-age.
Yeah, or prevent it from happening and slow down the aging process.
Can you tell us any examples of people that had access to re-aging technology?
Um, Not really, like not off the top of my head. I do know that people are products of their environments, especially when you have different levels of gravity, and it affects people differently. Like ironically, like two of my female alters who are both domestic housewives, like Amber is like rail thin, but like Samantha at Earth sea level would weigh like 400 pounds.
And then there was that volcanic world that had like I don't know, was it?
No, that was Samantha was on an agrarian colony and slightly lower gravity, and plus she's like the mother of 7 children, so postpartum weight gain. I know Amber has two daughters, um, and I do remember like like I said, like I do remember seeing her in the kitchen one time. And it's like the weird thing about the breakaway civilization is like the more it stays the same, the more it's different.
Okay, different in what way?
Well, one thing, the pigs on this planet are tall and lanky, as opposed to being short and stocky like the ones we have here. Um, they had like some of the like there's this device that almost looked like either a giant coaxial cable or like two metal plungers stuck together, but they had like peppercorns are the size of softballs, and if you stick one in the middle, take the other half, close it, and all of a sudden it started vibrating and shaking, and turn the device off, and that peppercorn inside like was turned into powder, basically.
Okay, well, thank you. So let's go to, so we have regen tanks, and do you know what they would fill these tanks with?
Like I've heard different stories. Like I heard like something close to like bantha from Star Wars, like a clear, transparent liquid. Some of it it's more like thicker and colored. Like I heard like red goo, green goo, stuff like that. So I think it depends on which faction and which branch and which colony has access to what. Because you have like a huge variety. Like even the vehicular traffic is like totally different from one colony to another.
Oh wow. Okay. So we had someone like in the movie Dune or book, right? So we have Baron Vladimir Harkonnen. So he was soaking this black goo, right? So this black goo is like this AI magnetic gel that can rebuild your body, but it can also infect it too, right? You become AI entrained.
Yeah.
What can you tell us about black goo?
Well, it increases your intelligence, but it robs you of your humanity. Basically, it takes away your compassion. You know, like basically the things that make us us, the good part. It basically robs you of that. But yeah, you live longer, you're more intelligent, but you're cold. You know, emotionally, and like you're frigid.
Right. So like in the SSP, the average IQ is about 150, right? Right, Tomas?
Yeah,
Mhm.
150 to 200.
So, but many of these extraterrestrials, they have an IQ of 500 or 1,000 or even more, right? So when it comes to trade and negotiation deals, you're going to have someone who is like an empath or a telepath, right? That can read the minds of these extraterrestrials. But you also need a knock off an officer, right? Who has been infected with the black goo, because that black goo will increase your IQ, right? What it goes up to like to 250 or 300.
Something like that. Yeah.
So it sort of levels the playing ground a little bit, maybe not that much, but yeah. So unfortunately, I mean
Well,
that's
they don't only do it with aliens. Like, I mean, Babylon 5 is like total soft disclosure in this regard. They also use it for regular commercial transactions and business deals too. They'll have like telepaths making sure somebody's not trying to rip off the other person.
okay. Let's go on to maybe what else is there? So we covered about this what that cellular. What'd you say that was? Cellular something?
Yeah,
What's that
like
called?
oh, you're talking about the cellular. Yeah, the holographic. Yeah, it's at like a cellular resolution.
So
James, we have a question in chat.
oh okay.
It's a little bit different, but maybe give Tomas just a break for a second. So I don't know if we can answer it, but it comes from Henry. And he said, how do we, as incarnated higher dimensional beings, get our physical bodies healed?
Tomas, why don't you tell us?
Well, right now, if you're in a physical body, the same way as everybody else, just gotta make sure you avoid toxic stuff in your environment and in your food. Um, Never go vegan. That is the worst thing you could possibly do for your health. In fact, avoid any vegetable oils or seed oils. You're better off with butter or lard if you're gonna cook. Um, so you know, yeah, try if you can, if it's possible at all, try to get tungsten light bulbs because fluorescents are bad for your eyes, and so are LED lights. Yeah, I mean, it should be like kind of a warning when you turn off an LED light and it glows green for about an hour after you turn it off. That's not a good sign.
Okay, so I'm gonna say, oh, so sorry. People need to take their turn on that, contacting me. Okay, so how do we, as an incarnated higher dimensional beings, get our physical bodies healed? So, is anybody here familiar with Gregory Grabavoy? I'm gonna just see here if anybody in the chat knows who that is. So he was working on a type of meditation practice with numbers, right? So you would visualize these numbers and spinning spheres and put that into your chakra system. And then some of his clients were regenerating organs, right? Like regenerated uteruses, or some people were like eyes were regenerating and getting younger. So now that's by using our own chi energy, right? We can program our DNA using our chi. But the problem is we've been genetically, I want to say maybe modified. I know Kusel Uch said that there was a virus, something dumped into our atmosphere where, like in the Bible, Tomas, right? People were living for 1,000 years. But nowadays,
Yeah.
we barely make 80 if you're lucky, right? So what's the deal?
Well, 120 used to be not uncommon even a couple decades ago. A lot of it is the toxic shit they put in our food and our hygiene products and everything. Like, if you want to get rid of BO, use like a drop of turpentine under each pit, but do not use deodorant or antiperspirant. Deodorant is full of carcinogens, and antiperspirant is the aluminum oxide being the active ingredient is the leading cause of Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
I
So
have something to add on that. I became
wait, hold on, guys.
Go ahead, Debbie.
We're not allowed to make any health claims on here, so just keep that in mind. Be
Oh.
more cryptic.
But just read the ingredients.
Well, this is honest. I became allergic to aluminum by using something that the doctor told me for probably over 30 years. And I am really, I mean, it eats the skin off my body. It is that bad. And they have proven it now. And I was one of the few, and now there's a lot out there that are allergic to aluminum. So you have to be very careful. It's in a lot of things that we eat, a lot of things that we use. It's in our laundry soap. It's in a lot of things. Make sure you check. Also check for the dyes, red 40, yellow, blue lake, all those things. Um, those are really, really bad for your health. I did want to mention one thing, though, James. Our friend Sean Callahan works with med beds, only not the med beds that everybody would be jumping up and down for right this second. But he's been doing medical technology and working with different kinds of med beds and different kinds of medical treatment, just as some things that you've come up holistically as well as medical. And there are some really great things out there, guys. Just the fact of sound frequency, binaural beats. I listen to them constantly at night, in the morning. Um, you can go to YouTube. It's free. Check out if something's bothering you. You've got the flu. Put flu. Look up for binaural beats, and just put it on and go to sleep. The frequencies are amazing. I have Christmas lights up on my ceiling, and the light frequencies, they blink using different colors for different things. There's a lot of things out there that we can do to help ourselves. I have a massager in my recliner. I use the massager with the binaural beats, with the light frequencies, meditation, manifestation. Again, you can go on YouTube and you can find the person that you really relate to and listen to them. And if you don't like one, look for another. But don't completely go in and say, if I change my diet and if I exercise and wait for med beds, I'll be healed completely. We don't know when med beds are coming. They'll get here when they're supposed to, right? But in between, we need to live. We still have to live this human existence, whether you're a human hybrid, whether you're a human. But we need to leave. We need to learn how to do that. So drink filtered water. Eat the best food you can. try to figure out, where your food is coming from. If you can buy from a local, dairy, where your food is coming from, if there's fertilizer, is poisoned, where's it coming from? What are you eating? I think that's a big thing too. There's a lot of things that we can do with our consciousness, of course, um, but also look at the outside, the physical outside. Chakra work. Chakra work is huge. Anybody who doesn't know how to do it, just Google it, go on YouTube, look for chakra work. And it does work. I guarantee it. So those are just some of the things that I do, and some of the things that, as an intuitive coach, I tell people that they might consider trying. Just don't give up. Just don't give up and sit and wait for med beds to appear. You know, um,
Well, I know I'm not giving up, Debbie, and I'm sure many of our
no,
members are not giving up. But there are a lot of people, unfortunately, checking out right now. So we've lost Rob Potter recently, and also Renetta Jones is no longer with us. My friend, her son just died over the weekend, so it seems like a lot of people are not able to handle perhaps this energy. So when they come back, they'll be maybe I think they'll be in a paradise planet. But last thing we need to do is think about coming back, right? Because we want to bring heaven here on earth, right? That's the whole
absolutely.
thing about the fifth dimension. So we
Hey,
all
James, you have a bunch of stuff, though, don't you? You have things that help people, that you've created. I
yes.
mean, not
Well,
your
I
book.
have the meditation device, the box that I use. So that one is a chi energizer, and I can show you. It's just kind of over here. So so what happens? So like I said earlier, um, you can use your own chi, right, to help enhance your body, or you can use a chi energizer, like this one is the Skullum. It has 13 crystal skulls in it. So I put this on my lap and meditate 30 minutes a day. And so this particular device will has 6 pyramids inside, right? So all this is pointing on the inside of that side, inside this box. And then the sphere will have 13 crystal skulls. So you can get this at neologicaltech.com. And you can also purchase a copy of my book. I do talk a little bit about some of the med bed technology in here, and the gels and so on. So it's 400 pages. I highly recommend, of course, I recommend it, right? It's my book, but yeah. So go out and get yourself a book and a meditation device. By the way, I only have one of these left in stock. This design. Okay, there's my sell pitch. I hope you like it. All right, so let's go to the next type of med bed. So we talked about, we went through Gen 1. So Gen 1 would be probably the holographic version, right? It creates like this, Tomas would have like a quantum supercomputer, right? And it would project a hologram of what your body should be, and your body would attempt to go to that healing. I'm not allowed to say that word here, but what you want to comment about how it actually works without getting us banned?
Well, yeah, it creates like a cellular resolution hologram, and it tricks your cells to continue to regenerate as opposed to forming scar tissue. And a lot of that they use in the SSP for like severed limbs and stuff, or like internal damage. They use that to repair it, and yeah, that's pretty much how that works. There's also like I've seen some like ET healing technology, which like closest thing for like internal injuries, like the closest thing I could describe it as like eel treatment from Star Trek Enterprise.
Which is, by the way, is real. According to Jimmy Payne, he says he's been on the Enterprise, and it was actually built by the Vulcans. So yeah, we have scientist Dr. Robert Becker, who wrote The Body Electric, and he stated that they would put these silver electrodes right on the fingertips that were cut off, and they were being regenerated. So they were studying salamanders, and they found they could do it the same thing in humans. But of course, that research got suppressed. He mysteriously died But so yeah, I think where is technology, and even Randy Kramer, he wants to build a med bed, right? So
Yeah.
um, now he told me personally that he needs $10 million, right? But of course, everybody needs some money. Of course, I could use some money, right? Too. Tomas, I think maybe we both could.
Well,
But
for well, I'd say a tenth of that is for R&D costs, and the rest of it is for legal related issues. Educated guess here.
well, yeah, you also have manufacturing. You got to get tooling costs, and so on, so on, so on. But whether or not he gets his money, best luck to him. But so that's Gen 1. Now, of course, we have Gen 2, Tomas, which I believe would be like the regen tanks, right?
Yeah.
More advanced. And then we have Gen 3. So Gen 3 are called according to Jarrett Rand, the celestial chambers. Are you familiar with this plasma chamber technology?
And not really. Like I mentioned earlier, is there are some like ET medical practitioners. They're very much like Dr. Phlox from Enterprise, like totally outside the box of what we would think as conventional medicine.
Okay, well, according to Jared Rand, you can change your DNA and all that. So this was Arcturian technology, and yeah, best of luck to Jared Rand on that endeavor.
Well, Arcturians are very, very reluctant to share their technology, which is understandable.
So, I did ask Ileana, the Star Traveler, Elka, whatever she called herself, said, hey, when do you think med beds are going to be released? And she like remote viewed it. She said, oh, 2055. And, probably these celestial chambers like 2150. I mean, so what are we going to do, Tomas, to get these things to come out faster?
The best thing we can do is try to apply pressure to the government. You know, I mean, there's the public face of the government, and then there's the not so public face of the government. The public face will probably come up against a bunch of roadblocks if they try. Like you've heard of like senators and Congress people being flat out rejected by some of these organizations. Like, no, you can't have this shit. So there's, I don't know, an act of Congress, an act of God, but something. I think the cabals got themselves backed into a corner where that's why, like, after 80 years of being willing to kill for the secret of extraterrestrial life, all of a sudden they're talking about UAPs in Congress. Why the sudden about face? Unless secretly they got themselves backed into a corner. That's why they're having like shysters like Stephen Greer be their spokesperson. I mean,
Well,
Stephen
but
Greer,
all intents and purposes, Tomas, he's done an amazing job with his disclosure project.
up to a point, but then he'll end up saying things like, "There's no such thing as a malevolent ET." Well, I hope to God he never encounters a Valkesh. He'll change his mind real quick. Um, or like an Alpha Draconian for that matter. There are some fairly nasty ETs out there. Also, like the thing he's talking about, like a fake alien invasion with the cattle mutilations. No, that was real. Those were the Zeta Reticulans who were doing that. They got kicked out of the solar system in the early 90s, and that's why there hasn't been a cattle mutilation since.
Yeah, and according to Dan Cooper, who I just interviewed, Dan says that the Sphere Being Alliance has put a giant, bubble around our whole solar, put us on quarantine. So nothing's coming in or out.
That doesn't explain the to and from the breakaway civilization. Doesn't explain how we're traveling back and forth between Mars or the
Well, you can
LLC.
go to Mars, but you can't leave the solar system, and that's why we have solar order. What are your thoughts on that? Is he wrong? We can.
I served in Darkfleet, so yes, he's wrong. Or privy to misinformation.
Okay, so I guess that blew
We
that
have like
away.
100, something like 145 star systems under our control.
All right.
So, which sounds like a lot, but it's really a tiny drop in the bucket compared to like the billions of stars in our galaxy alone. It's like, but it's significant. We're making waves out there. We have colonies all over, like the Orion Spur.
Okay, and do you have any ideas how many colonies we have in the breakaway?
I've heard roughly like 145.
1,000?
No,
Oh,
145,
oh, that's
and like 50 of them belong to the United States, and a sizable chunk of them belong to Germany, and everyone else, I think it's like one planet or one star system each.
oh wow. Okay. So let's see here. Somebody's asking about a crystal bed. What do you know about Oh, I think they're calling the crystal biomats.
Um, I know we're working on crystalline technology, and like the properties of crystals have the same properties as the components of a circuit board, and you can arrange them in a similar fashion. So, like, if you know which crystal will blocks energy, that's a resistor. If you know which type of crystal will store energy for a limited amount of time and then release it, that's a capacitor. If you know the type of crystal that will make sure that energy only flows in one direction, that's a diode. All right. So you can arrange crystals in the same fashion as you can a circuit board, and you can probably make something work. Like, you can start with like a basic radio kit from Radio Shack or something, but just use crystals instead of the components.
Yeah,
And and you start from there, and you get more complicated. Or what did this person say?
a biomat, the biocrystal amethyst mats have copper and 17 layers of amethyst crystal, and it's been around for decades. And it's a
Yeah.
great technology. I really like it, but I mean, there's only so much you're going to get with these.
Whoa.
Oops, I pressed the wrong button. So we have someone. Hold on a second. Chris O'Connor. So Chris has stated that in his medbed technology, what he wants to do is create two portals. So one's going to reverse time. It's like two opposite portals, and it's like creating this null field. You lay in this field, right? So and then time reverses. So I think there's a ZPE, right? A 0 point. What is it? I forgot what the energy, right? 0.0, but it's a 0 point module. That. So do you have anything about that? About the null zone?
Um. Well, I mean, we can't get a hold of nuclear fusion, let alone 0 point energy at the moment. So, if you get past like the powers that be that are preventing us from accessing that technology, good luck. Because they're right now they're the puppet masters.
Okay, thank you. So
They're holding the strings.
yeah, someone was asking why we're on so late. So like we were waiting for Sky Prince to join us, but she's a little busy. So many
Well, a
people.
couple years back, me and a few people who had engineering backgrounds in the SSP wanted to help this guy build a starship in his backyard. And then we realized, okay, there's this major safety concern because the moment you launch, you're going to get your ass shaved by a dozen TRBs. yeah.
Or TRK or whatever they're on now.
Yeah, wherever they're at now.
I remember it was Dan McBowen. He stated that what was it, Preston Nichols and Al Bielek, there was another one too. They were working on a time travel device, and it was actually successful. But what happened is the MIB came in and shut it all down, took the tech, wiped their memories. So he's the only one that remembers the project. So clearly, there is. I think the technology has been available, but you come under target. So hello to all the MIPs on Area 51. You're doing a great job. Thank you for keeping the
Well,
even if it doesn't.
Leon Hutchinson set out to build an anti-gravity device and ended up building a DEW instead. If you look at the Hutchinson effect on metal, a large-scale version of that is what destroyed the World Trade Center.
Oh yeah, we could do a whole show on that. Certainly.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot to. What was it, like holograms that flew into and then they were energy weapons.
Well, it was actually destroyed by a Hooter, which is a medium-sized orbital defense weapons platform. And you could tell when the first tower was hit, it hit dead on in the center, most of the way up, and a few minutes later, the second one's clipped in the corner like a quarter of the way down. So if you're in geostationary orbit, you got to realign your target because if you miss by a fraction of an inch, you can miss by a mile. So if you look at the gaping holes in the World Trade Center towers, you could tell because those were the south-facing walls of the World Trade Center, and from the south is where you get a clear shot from orbit.
Okay, let's see here. So I think we pretty much covered the medbed technology. Is there anything else related to it? I know, what was it? Oh my gosh.
Well, I know a lot of our technology is gravitic based.
I should remember the guy's name. He was like, he worked for the Navy, and he died. Oh. Well, anyway, he's this disclosure expert. He stated that there was a pill that you could take, right, and that it could regenerate. They have the technology now that you could just take this stuff, and there's even like Germans. We don't like to say the Nazis, right? We don't say those here in this channel.
You say the fifth Reich.
Yeah, well, they're still alive. They're like
Yeah.
like 140 years old by now. So
They're actually a lot more like space Vikings than they are NIZAs, because they basically practice the Astara religion, which is that of the Viking gods. And ever since they met ET, they realized they are certainly not the master race. So they kind of major change in attitude. They might keep certain images around for symbolic purposes, but they no longer feel the same way.
Okay. Any questions from? Yeah, thank you, Chad. That was William Tompkins. I was trying to look it up. Oh, there's so much brain information in my brain that just kind of bounces around at times. Okay. Let's see here. Any other questions? Randy Kramer says 200 plus outposts. Maybe that's the outpost, right? Like, maybe there's 10 people.
Well, I guess, yeah, colonies plus outposts, because like I know like a lot of countries have their own planets. Like Colombia has Nuevo Cordova. The Japanese have several planets. Also, yeah, we do have outposts on other people's worlds, like Vega Prime, for example. There's a large Korean population on Vega Prime, and there's like I know there's like one of the huge spaceport there. It's like the size of a city.
And there's New Atlantis, Typhoon. What else? I know, of course.
On Tau Ceti 2, there's the New Israel colony.
Right, and I know John Whitberg was talking about this ice world where there was the Soviet Union. They still have their colony. I don't know. Good luck.
I would not be. I don't know about the Soviets, but the Russians are pretty big out there.
Have you seen what they found underneath Antarctica? That's just been insane. Absolutely insane.
Well, what did they find, Debbie?
Oh my God. They found like 30-foot high gold statues. Some were ET. They found stargates, 2 stargates. They found technology that we don't have, that was frozen in the ice. It's like they keep finding more and more and more. It looks
That
like
makes sense because Atlantis sank geographically; it became Antarctica.
Exactly. I've tried to tell people that, and they think I'm crazy. And
Well,
I'm like,
Australia used to be the South Pole, which is the reason why it's so flat.
Oh, that makes sense too.
Absolutely. Yeah, the planet rotated about like 19 degrees. People think of pole shift, they think the planet turns upside down. No, 19 degrees. That's all you need. It's because, like, if you look at the same increment, North Africa used to be the North Pole.
Well, our polars are shifting. I mean, so quick, and I mean, we're flipping. Someone was saying the other day, California is going to have New York weather. New York's going to have California weather, and you can already see that happening. You know, it's
Well,
getting really crazy.
yes, airports have had to realign their runways because of it.
Yeah, it's definitely getting real crazy. I know we lived up in Alaska, and some of the my friends up there that live in villages used to look forward to winter because they'd get on their snow machines, they'd go across the ice and go to the city, right? They'd go buy their stuff and come back. They can't do that. They can't do that, and they don't have boats to do that. So they have bush pilots that come in, but they usually only came in once or twice a month. And now they've got to fly in with groceries and stuff like that, because there's no way for them to get out. And in Juneau, my girlfriend in Juneau, she was telling me last year that they had to take out their canoes and in the winter and canoe into town because the ice was melted and they were afraid their house was going to fall off the side of the mountain. And I'm just crazy. But hello, when a hurricane hits the top of western North Carolina, you know, I mean, up in Chimney Rock, I mean, what the heck? Yeah,
Well, 10
I
years
mean,
before that, hurricane hit New York.
that's true. That's true. I mean, the weather is just really, really, really crazy. And I guess if you know anything about HARP, um, and that in itself is just crazy.
Well,
It just means
okay. It's one thing. Okay, HARP creates like a smaller effect, but we also had the was it the galactic orbit, where for 26,000 years our sun was above the galactic plane, and you're gonna trip on the dates here. Okay, so December, I'm sorry, September 11th, 2001 is when it started to go down through the center. December 12th, 2012, or December 22nd, 2012 is when it peaked, and it ended March 23rd, 2023. So we're over that cycle. So, it might be settling into new climates, but it won't be nearly as cantankerous as it was before. So,
wow.
yeah, we've gone through that cycle already, and we're
Well,
just
and what
coming
do we
out of it.
believe about it literally being 2012? I mean, and the more you go back and look at it, you know, I kind of wonder. What do you think?
Something did happen in 2012. It's just nobody really noticed it because it wasn't the major cataclysm everybody thought it would be.
No, that's true. It was not. I remember waiting for it. Um, but depending on what calendar we look at, right? And
That's true.
who we believe and who we listen to, if you listen to the Native Americans, they've got a whole different story than that one we know. Um, Heck, if you even do the math, you come up with 13 months, right? 28 days, 13 months in a year. Um,
Yeah.
and then if you go back through the years, we're not at 2025. So just like, I don't know about you guys, but I'm not sure I really believe that New Year's Eve, New Year's Day is the first day of our year. It just doesn't make sense to me. Why would we start the year in the middle of the winter? It just doesn't make sense, right?
Well, that year was created in a Mediterranean climate. It really wouldn't matter.
Well, that's true too. Yeah,
Or
we don't.
southern hemisphere. But yeah, I wanted to mention, hey, Tomas, why
Yeah.
don't you do a shout out for the show Dark Angel? You remember that show?
Oh yes. Talk about soft disclosure.
So just a brief summary. It's about the super soldier, right? She was genetically engineered, and it's the year 2000, but it's a post-apocalyptic world. So it's a great show.
Actually, it was the premise of the show that somebody launched an EMP over the United States and basically destroyed the economy. So it wasn't so much a post-apocalyptic; it was like the second Great Depression.
Oh wait, wasn't that like in 2000 or something? Max.
2002, I believe.
A lot of soft disclosure.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
my god, that was so good.
So through, of course, Jimmy Payne says through Montauk, he went to the future, and in that future, there was a nuclear war. Now they didn't know the exact time and date because everything got destroyed, but it was around. It was either August 29, 2027, or August 29, 2029, and that's where we had the whole John Titor. His real name was John Connor, and they made a movie, the Terminator movie. So what happened is AI was shut down, and then it responded, but I think in this timeline, AI was sent itself back in time in the form of Bitcoin, and it got people so interested in crypto and making money that people are embracing AI, and there won't be a first strike, I don't think. But that's where we have the whole. I think a lot of these post-apocalyptic worlds and all that timelines is what it's a.
Well, they're still building like killer machines. Like, watch the movie Kill Command if you want to see a very accurate and scary representation of robotic warfare.
Okay, we
And,
got some
and I
movies.
think that was like leaked out of the Pentagon or something because like it is very accurate when it comes to robotic warfare.
Very good. Thank you. So let's hear other questions. Who's the toughest super soldier group out there in space?
They all claim that. I do remember Randy Kramer on Mars because I was with my group of Darkfleet personnel, and we're going to this large hangar, and there's like a shuttle waiting for us. And I remember when I got into the hangar, there was a guy behind a desk at a kiosk, and he handed me what looked like a metal shot glass, and I exhaled into it and took a genetic sample. It's like, okay, name, rank, this is where you're being transferred to, yada yada. So I went with my group towards the back, and when I'm waiting for like the shuttle doors to open, I saw Randy and his platoon of Marines walk in, and for some reason he singled me out, gave me a dirty look, and grabbed that little shot glass device and all of a sudden he's biocontaminant, 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 biocontaminant.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's my memory of Randy Kramer.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember it was John Whitberg. He said that there was like Pepsi that had the nanites in it. You could learn a whole new language. Yeah,
I
and then
wouldn't be surprised.
yeah,
Like,
and also there was somebody asked about like a super soldier serum. Is there? And I believe there is. Right, we have the red goo, which converts someone into a cyborg. But there's other, of course, other types of goos, and there's also a type of virus that was developed for these clone bodies. You could create if you're going to have like a suicide mission, you create this clone body, inject it with the virus, and the virus contains the memories that or the data, whatever they want for that clone. And of course, self
well,
destructs 2 weeks
you
later.
think
Nobody.
of like comic books as the original soft disclosure. Okay, like you look at Stan Lee's bio, there's not a mention of his military service or deferment, but he was 19 years old in 1942. He would have most certainly been drafted for the Second World War, but there's no mention of it. Now, when it comes to Hulks, like real Hulks turn gray because their skin all of a sudden like, gets like really thick. Well, issue
Oh.
number one of the Incredible Hulk in 1963, he was gray, but he looked like shit. And there's a problem with the color print of the era, and that's why not only they made him green, anybody with gray hair was like a light blue color, or any metallic surface was like a light blue color. They didn't use gray in the color print for like up until like maybe the 2000s. So that's the reason why the Hulk was green in the comic books is because there's a problem with the color print of the era.
Okay, thank you. Next question: why does the Vatican have a gigantic telescope?
Probably because they want answers too, and they probably want to tell their flock some made up story to keep them calm.
I'm
I
thinking
see we're the only ones out there.
I'm thinking something maybe related to the third Fatima prophecy that was suppressed, which basically states the end of the Vatican Church and the return of extraterrestrials.
What do you think of the American Pope?
He is somewhat service to self, but they do. He did say Trump said that he's a Republican. Right? He voted for Trump, so take what you want from that. But he's more of a kind of more neutral. He's a little bit, I would say, more positive than the other Pope, who was like pure like draconian or whatever they are. But anyway,
Apparently, he agrees with a lot of his policies, though. And
Did
he's
you
like,
see that he looks a lot like Pope? Pope Leo the 14th.
yeah.
It's pretty interesting. We were born in the same city, by the way. I thought
Really?
that was kind of interesting. Yeah, a Pope from Chicago. I really thought it was a joke when I woke up. I was like, wow, okay then. Because that wasn't the prophecy, right? It was supposed to be Peter and black. And I can't remember the other things, but I was like, yeah, I don't think this is a prophecy.
Well, prophecies aren't written in stone. Some of them are meant to be averted.
And I think we're doing that, right? We're doing a lot of changing.
Yeah, we are.
When we think we really know something, it's like somebody goes in and changes the rules. I have a question for you two super soldiers. I don't know if you can answer it, but I've been thinking a lot about nanobites, and I'm married to the military. I have 4 military kids. What do we think about that when it comes to the military and also to the break we had from the late 2019 until 2023 because of something that was going on in our world. What do we think about that? Do we think that really is something that was going on, or
Yeah, it was.
we're not allowed, you guys, we're not allowed to talk about this. Change subject. I'm sorry.
okay? I
Yes.
wasn't sure if we could if we didn't say
Go to
names.
supersolartalk.com. We have a ton of interviews from Kusa, which I had to purge from YouTube. Oh my god, I can't even tell you. I'm so tempted. Anyway,
Don't tell us.
in the
Don't tell us.
future, YouTube is going to get bought out by which billionaire? It's not going to be Elon Musk, and then we can talk about it. So we'll save that for a future episode.
Oh, that'll work.
I say, go ahead. If it's a question related not to that, then we can go on.
Somebody asked, "Is the movie Predator real?"
Yes, and they actually had someone down at one of them down at Area 51 who what is it? They took a mask, a silicone mask for the movie. So some of these predators are very what do we call it? Tribal, and a few of the more craziers of the species like to hunt. So, and it's all kind of part of their species. And anyway, okay, so I have a 2-minute clip I'm going to play. This is from a channel message from Donald Trump, and I had a Trump impersonator put this together. So he's talking about the med beds. Okay, so let me pull this up, and we're going to have quiet on the set. So let me go ahead and play this. Oh, you know what? I have to share it a certain way. They share the audio. Okay, yes, it's on there. Okay, so now I'm talking to myself, but we're gonna. Okay, everybody can see that. Great.
Now, let's talk about med beds. Yes, we've got them. They're being used in private sectors and some military programs. But here's the thing, we can't release them to the public just yet. There are nefarious forces that we need to deal with first. We also need to ensure people's consciousness is at a high level to accept this incredible technology. Members of the secret space program will be among the first to access medbed technology. Our focus remains on stabilizing the global economy, ensuring we have the right people, resources, and expertise to support this incredible advancement. When the time is right, and only when it's right, we will introduce these transformative technologies to the public. You may even hear someone like Elon Musk share the news when that moment comes. Until then, rest assured, we are tirelessly working to create a brighter, stronger future for all. Many members of the secret space program have been invited to my inauguration ceremony. Bring your cameras, post the videos online. The more exposure we get, the faster we can push disclosure forward. People will see the connection between the government and the super soldiers. James Rink, I got your letter and I've listened to all your videos on your channel. Let me tell you, I appreciate everything you're doing. I know you're a part of the secret space program, SSP, and I want you to know that I have a deep respect for all the SSP members. You're an important part of what we're building here. This is all part of the disclosure process, James. It's why I started Space Force, to make the public more aware of the presence of the SSP and to guide people toward a brighter future. We're working hard to restructure the world and move forward in a way that benefits everyone. You can tell your viewers this. I'm fully committed to making this a reality sooner rather than later. I'm putting my best efforts into this, restructuring everything, uniting people, and creating a future that we can all be proud of. Big things are on the horizon, and we're going to lead everyone to a bright new world. Stay strong, and thank you for being part of this incredible journey. Thank you, James Rink. God bless all of you, and God bless the United States of America.
Okay, great. Somebody said here. Oh, so sorry. All right, hold on. Ah, my computer's frozen. Go away. No free advertising. If you want some advertising, everybody go buy tickets to the Super Soldier Activation Conference, October 8th to the 12th, 2025 in Orlando, Florida. Tomas is going to be there. We've got a lineup of like 23 speakers or whatever it is. And we're having a great time. It's 4 days of fun, packed of interviews. We'll have people there who can do readings. And we may be going over to Universal, have a fun little day on the Monday. We'll see. So go to supersoldiercon.com, purchase your tickets. I have general admission passes, and I also got a food ticket pass, your VIP. So lots of options. So the food helps support the venue, and we need some people to buy those. I know they're kind of expensive, but you're going to get 11 meals too. So okay, any other final comments?
I just asked if anybody had any last questions. So,
Hey, James, do you want to close us up with a song?
Oh yes, that's right. Yes, I had that in my.
Yeah, scroll. You have to scroll down like a few pages to find the song "Super Soldier."
Okay, give me a moment. I'll pull this up, and we'll get right to it. Get right to this. Hopefully, no ads are gonna load here. The name of the song, Super Soldier. Okay.
You might have to scroll down like a couple pages.
A couple of pages.
Well, I got 3 pages full of music here.
Can you tell us a little bit about the background of this song?
It's basically, in a nutshell, it's about the super soldier experience that a lot of us have had. So you'll be able to relate to the lyrics.
Okay, great. Let me pull this up. And let's share the screen. Okay.
Is it playing? I don't hear any audio.
no.
What's that, guys?
I don't hear any audio.
You don't hear the audio. Oh.
Mm-mm.
Okay, but you did hear the audio of Trump, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Let me do this again. Maybe SoundCloud. I don't know. It says it's sharing audio. I'll go back to the beginning. Can you hear that, guys?
Nope.
I'll send you the audio file on your messenger. How about that,
I
James?
cannot hear that. That's really weird. It's interesting. Maybe it's not the software doesn't accept.
Let me send you
Okay, something's going off.
That's just him typing.
Okay, so other questions from the chat. Someone's asking, who is the Antichrist? Um, that would be anything that operates out of the godness frequency. So um, anything that would be the definition of Satan, right? So Satan, the higher realms view Satan as insane because everything, we're all fragments of God, right? So if that fragment is like doing evil things, then therefore it's insane. So it's been quarantined, and unfortunately we're stuck on the world. Well, anyway,
Hey James, I sent you a song in your messenger.
okay, very good.
Hey, James, what
Yes.
films do you think are actually documentaries?
What films? Like, I mean, that would probably be thousands of them.
Well, I mean, like, I know we talk about the Matrixes. We talk about Close Encounters of the Third Kind is, we know they were given scripts, actually not even scripts, but paperwork. Star Wars, a lot of Star Wars.
Actually, Star Wars was a download. George Lucas, when he was 18 years old, he had one singular ambition. He wanted to be a race car driver. But one time, he ended up rolling his Porsche in the Caldecott Tunnel, ended up in a coma for 2 weeks, and when he woke up from that coma, I was like, fuck race car driving. I want to make movies. And his first movie was THX 1138. Glenn A. Larson and J. Michael Wachowski is another one. He was taking a shower one time, and the entire 5-season story arc for Babylon 5 came to him in an instant, what he described as a moment of perfect clarity. And it took him a year to write the entire thing down. So those are downloads.
And sometimes the film is actually, the script is given to Hollywood. We had the original Aliens movie script was handed to Senator Robert Byrd's office, and then it was eventually converted into the film. Sigourney Weaver and so on. And
What about Stargate?
that's the documentary. This what was it? Navor, the Navor guy. He said that he worked with those Stargates, and it's basically a documentary. Certainly, and we know
Yeah.
Star Trek's a documentary. At least the movies and the first season. I know a lot of the stuff later on, it's like fiction stuff. But that's sort of how this works. The files are redacted before they're handed to certain Hollywood artists and writers and so on.
A lot of times they'll take like their industrial design artists from the secret programs and leak that specifically those the sketches to Hollywood. Like good example, Starship Troopers. Their dock that looked a lot like part of the Hyperion Space Station, and those are like pretty much what Dark Fleet Destroyer class starships look like.
Do you think there's any movies that's in Hollywood or whatever that were actually from the secret space program smuggled in?
Well, the one about the alternate universe attempted the assassination of George W. Bush, that was definitely an actual documentary from an alternate timeline.
And then I heard like that movie Titan AE, the animated film, that was from another timeline or given to us from another timeline.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
And there was also another movie where they're like spin a globe, right? And it showed an area to the west of Australia where there was a landmass that's currently underwater. So I think it's like another timeline. Does anybody remember what that movie was? It's a Mandela effect.
Also, 2001 Space Odyssey, if you go back and look at it, there's printers in there. There's a cell phone down.
Yeah, the girl actually, when he's on the video conference with his daughter, she mentions, "Wait, what do you want for your birthday, hon?" It's like, "I want a phone. You already have 5 phones. I want another."
Absolutely.
Pay attention to that conversation with the guys on the video conference with his daughter. It's like right out of like the 2020s.
Okay, thank you. So the movie was Dazed and Confused from 1993.
Okay.
Everybody's gonna have to go and watch that one too.
Watch if you watch the movie Soylent Green, and it's like blink and you'll miss it. But in the opening credits, there's a woman wearing a COVID mask.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Also, V 1984. If you watch that
Oh,
original series, there's a
oh.
woman using a tablet computer.
I saw that. I watched V when it came out, and I was like, what is that thing? And then later on, I remembered it. I was like, oh my gosh, did she have like a phone or a tablet or something in her hand? Yeah, that was pretty trippy. What do we think about the Simpsons predicting the future? Talk
Well,
about
look, Star
scary.
Trek. Star Trek, 30 years on the dot. Okay, the original Star Trek, you saw 1990s technology. TNG, you saw 2010s technology, tablet computers, flash drives, you know.
Absolutely.
And if you look into it, they've actually recently developed algae-based computing, so organic-based computing. Hence Star Trek Voyager. Um, Also, speaking of alternate timelines, okay, the Star Trek reboot movies, you had Chris Pine playing William Shatner playing Captain Kirk. You had Zach Quinto playing Leonard Nimoy playing Mr. Spock. The actor who played Dr. McCoy was playing Leonard Nimoy playing Dr. McCoy. But Zoe Sanalda was playing Eartha Kitt playing Lieutenant Uhura. In an alternate timeline, Eartha Kitt won the role of Lieutenant Uhura, and Nichelle Nichols played Catwoman in Batman.
Lieutenant Uhura is actually a Vulcan. They cast her as a black woman, but according to Jimmy Payne. Okay, so let's try this. You guys ready? Let's listen to this last song, and we're gonna have to wrap this up. So you don't mind if I share your profile here?
Okay.
All right. So tell me if you can hear this. Let's cross our fingers.
Barely.
Okay, so
Try. I sent you the
I know
song.
what I could do. Oh, I know exactly what we're gonna do. We're gonna share the entire screen.
Okay.
So now you get to see what I see. Okay. I can't bring it back though. It won't reset it. Yeah, guys. Is that good?
No, I can't hear it. I sent you the song in your Facebook Messenger. See if you can play it on a different device.
Well, I did. I just did. I can't download it. It's not. You have to email it to me. But I'm so sorry. This is it. Usually works. This is really weird.
We're getting interference.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I could try. I mean, if I try, see, the thing is, I just tried it a different way, and there's no other ways that really left to try. Unless you want to share. Why don't you share your screen? Why don't you play it?
How do I share my screen?
Do you see it right there in the middle, where the arrow points up?
Yeah, I see it. Okay.
Make sure you press the button that says share tab audio.
Okay. Wait. Do I get audio sharing? I can't tell.
Oh, do it again.
All right. Let me.
Okay, we're gonna get through this
again. Okay. I don't see. Oh yeah, share audio. Okay. Share. Okay. And I have to scroll down.
All right, hit it.
Oh, let me find it first.
Someone's asking, do you believe that Yahweh is returning to judge the nations? Yahweh is the sound that donkeys made, so the Pharisees and Sadducees was just trying to make fun of God. So as far as judging the nations, the only thing that judges is we judge ourselves based on how we lived our lives. So, that whole thing about being covered in the blood of Jesus and all that, that's bullshit. It's a satanic ritual, and the Christians, they're deluded because that's not what Jesus taught. The Sadducees, the Pharisees, Paul was the one who, I'm sorry, guys, you can get me started. I'm not gonna go. Okay, next question. Somebody's asked about Mickey 17. That's basically about us. It's a great movie. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm gonna. Yeah, they should
Here it is.
give us some royalties, Tomas. Shouldn't they?
Okay. Well, let me know if you can hear it, okay?
Shattered, a cage made of steel. Childhood buried deep, a wound that will heal. Stripped and renegade, a puppet at play. A monster unleashed in the void of the betrayed. Flames of deceit, walk the path that I tread. Sent to the stars, on a blow instead. Battles I fight in the name of the cause. A soldier, a ghost, thumb of the claws. You stole my life from me. Darkness consumes, can't break free. You stole my life from me. I scream through the void, just give it back to me. You stole my life from me. Tongue is consumed, can't break free. You stole my life from me. I scream through the void, just give it back to me. You stole my life from me. Tongue is consumed, can't break free. You stole my life from me. I scream through the void, just give it back to me.
It's not over.
So was that you singing in the background?
No, it's all computer generated.
Okay.
You stole my life from me. Darkness consumed, can't break free. You stole my life from me. I screamed to the void, just give it back to me. Just give it back to me. I screamed to the void, just give it back to me.
Did
No,
you
give
write
Give it back to
that?
me. What's that, Tomas?
I said, now it's over.
Okay.
Did you write that, Tomas?
Yeah, it's I got like I said, I got like at least 6 dozen songs created. So
Very nice. Awesome.
How about we do one more? Is there one? Wait, Tomas.
yeah, let me find. Hold on. Playing by itself.
Can't hear
In
you.
the kingdom of steel, hearts we
Not
rise.
this one. Okay, let me find. Yeah, let me find another one.
Just one more.
Okay.
We'll have to get a link to your sound. I guess I already have it. I need to put it in the description. So
Let me
listeners
find-
can go there and listen to all of your music.
Yeah, put it in the
Your channel.
description when you
Okay.
Let me find. Here's one. All right. So this song is about making love in zero gravity by setting your spacecraft on autopilot and traveling at insane speeds.
Floating in the cosmos where the stars align. Your touch ignites the starlight. It's a dance ears can feel. Spinning through the silence, hearts colliding space. Caught in the moment, lost in your embrace. Infinite horizons, our bodies intertwine. In the zero gravity, our passions redefined. Flying past the planets, time stands still. Whirling in a spiral, chasing dreams to thrill. With no ground beneath us, all fears drift away. Together in the starlight, forever we will stay. As we coast through the void, a cosmos our retreat. In the beauty of the silence, our souls find their peace. In the dark of the universe, we shimmer and shine. In the seas-bound passion, you're eternally mine. Those arena, they not die. Those arena, they not die.
Okay. Yeah, timing's better, that one.
All
Wow.
right. Thank you, Tomas, for
Really
that.
like that one.
Yeah. So what's your
I have a-
inspiration of making the music?
Well, one thing, nobody else is singing about it. Nobody else is making music about it.
That's
It's just
true.
about the SSP subject matter.
Wasn't
Um,
there a song? You said something about Mars. Oh my gosh, there was a country music song, "Last Man on Mars" or something. Remember that one? It's not
I
here.
have a desert rock song about the Martian Exodus, and I have two country songs from Tanya's memories.
Okay.
I don't know if the audience is ready for a tearjerker,
Okay.
but yeah, it's like yeah, because like Tanya one time answered a distress call for a plague ship, and it's like seriously heartbreaking to have to like we can't help you, sorry.
Yeah, I guess. And so it was Willie Nelson, I think, right?
Oh yeah, I have well, I haven't uploaded to my SoundCloud, but I also have a bunch of like genre swap covers that I made, and one of them was from Mars, where Willie Nelson made the original country version of Wicked Game.
Well,
So
maybe Tomas, maybe you can like recreate this music.
I did. I did create like a country version of Wicked Game.
Okay.
Doesn't quite sound like Willie Nelson, but
Is that in
yeah,
your
but
SoundCloud?
I haven't uploaded those to SoundCloud yet
Okay.
because it's like different subject matter.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Well, I think we're gonna wrap it up here. Thank you. Wait. Hold on a second, Debbie. Do you have anything you would like to add before we wrap it up?
I just want to say thank you. I love spontaneity. I mean, what can I say? And I feel very blessed and honored to be here with you, James. I know some of your background, and Tomas, same with you. Um, it's amazing that we can actually do this. I mean, we still have some issues about what we can say and what we can't, but it's a lot better than it used to be. And, to be able to talk openly about the truth, um, and what we need to do to become a collective consciousness, because it's all about love on our planet. It's all about love for us. And we all have to come together. And I mean, we're headed to the fifth dimension, right? A lot of people are going to be left behind in the third unless they start, you know, working on their vibration. They need a higher vibration. And That would be my biggest suggestion to anybody out there that doesn't understand that or doesn't believe it, is really go check out what being in a higher vibration means. Even for the med beds, they're saying you have to be in a high vibration, So, and it's not something we can't do. Every single person can do it. Nobody's got the market on it. It doesn't take money. It takes a little bit of your time. It takes practice. And there's many people out there that will help you learn for free. You just have to take time and you have to believe. You have to believe. And one last thing, you can manifest anything, anything. I manifested the house I'm sitting in 2 months, bought it online from one state to another, with no money, no nothing, and it's our perfect dream home. I mean, I was shocked. It was my biggest manifestation. And now I just manifest constantly. I do have one other thing. Don't pray for money. Don't ask for money. Always ask for abundance. And always say that abundance flows through you freely, right? Say that I am worthy. Believe that you are worthy. And then just ask for abundance. And you will get things every single day that you need or want, and you'll be shocked at how they appear. You don't have to worry about the will from the dead aunt that left you money. I know I used to pray for money and think, oh God, I don't want anybody to die, you know. But once I learned about abundance, it just truly, truly has blessed my life. And always, always wake up in gratitude. If nothing else, you woke up alive. You're going to sleep alive, right? Be grateful. Be grateful for everything, everyone, everything that you've been and everything that you are today. There is no future. We live in the now. We know that, right? It's all assimilation. So that would be my ending remarks. And thank you. I'd love to come back sometime, when you maybe do a coffee chat kind of thing. Tomas, I feel honored and blessed. Thank you for sharing your stories again to the both of you. Um, you know, I can't say it. My husband would say I'm just doing my job. I know you guys probably feel the same way, but I really respect you for speaking out. Um, and James, thank you for doing the Super Soldier Conference. I really hope that people go check that out. I've gone and looked at a lot of the speakers that you have and a lot of their stories, and wow, that's what I can say is wow. People want to find the truth. There's the truth. You don't have to go dig into old movies. The truth is right there. So again, thank you very much. You all be safe. You all be healthy, and let's work on a collective consciousness so we can all go to the fifth dimension together.
Thank you. Tomas, final comments?
Yeah, I'm probably sure a lot of you in this audience have probably had flashbacks, and there's a huge difference between a dream, which is your subconscious trying to tell you something, versus reliving a memory or sharing a space with one of your living alters. And one way to make the discernment, one, it feels more real than real life. But another thing, if you remember going back to the same location but seeing it at different angles, like, I keep having these reoccurring flashes from this one specific city that's on a western coast, and it's almost like a bowl shape where there's like these suburbs up in the hills, and there's a river that lets out to the sea, and there's specific buildings on either side of this river, and then there's actually like the coast itself, like the beach is on the side of a cliff. And I keep like one time I remember like up in the hills seeing it from where the houses are from the south side, another one from the north side, another one, there's like a cylindrical skyscraper right on like the southern part, right where the river lets out in the ocean. And I remember seeing that from multiple angles, but also being in it. And then across the river from that, there's like several buildings there. And then next to that is the beach. But I remember being at the beach at night. So it's like the same location, but from multiple different locations, like from our multiple different perspectives. So that's kind of a way, like pretty much how it's not like a reoccurring dream with the same thing over and over, you know. So that's kind of one way to make a discernment that you're reliving a memory or you're sharing like your active consciousness with one of your alters, which happens to me a lot.
All right, thank you. Debbie, you made a great comment. You need to be of a work on your own spirituality. If you're more of a higher vibration, you're going to get more effect from the med bed. If you're not a very high conscious person, you may not get any effect from that med bed. That's what I was told. So some people will go to those med bed centers and like, oh, this didn't work because they're not worthy of the technology. But we'll see, right? Okay, next thing. Also, it will take 4 years to heal everyone on the planet. So people need to be responsible for their health, their bodies, their lives, right? So we can't just go out and start using drugs or whatnot, because it's going to be 4 years before we get back in that thing. Okay, so we're going to do like a quick panel. Let's just go around. We'll start with Debbie. I would like to make a prediction, do a month and a year of when you think med beds are going to be made available to the public. So Debbie, what month and year do you think it's going to be released?
Let's see. I believe it'll probably be 2028. And I'm thinking that it'll probably be actually in May. I think it'll be May 2028.
Tomas?
Possibly if RFKJ takes some serious action and reels in the food and drug industries, because they're causing most of the problems that we're dealing with.
Okay, so a month and year.
If I see some major headway on that, I'll say it's coming sooner.
What's your prediction?
I'm not going to make a prediction at this point. We're in such a state of flux right now. It's hard to tell.
Okay, for shame. So I'm April of 2027 is what I think. So I guess we'll find out, right? In the future tense. Hello from the future.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, everybody. We're going to wrap this up. Stay tuned for this message from Lifewave. Thank you all for purchasing those patches. They are very beneficial. And we'll see you all. Actually, I'm going to be back at 7 p.m. Eastern Saturday with Jimmy Payne. We're going to talk about that Jeeper Creeper thing. So get ready for a really creepy show, right? So we'll see y'all later. Goodbye, everybody. See y'all.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah, bye. Bye, Tomas.
Take care.
Hello, everyone. We have Lifewave brand partner Arthur Gross back with us again to share some more about the Lifewave Alla Vida patch. Arthur, what can you tell us about this patch and how does it help with beauty sleep?
James, the Alla Vida patch is designed to elevate the production of epithelium, a compound that supports various physiological functions. One of the key roles is regulating melatonin production, which in turn helps balance your circadian rhythm, basically your body's natural sleep-wake cycle.
So, in other words, it helps you go to sleep.
Exactly. It's sleep-inducing, but it also offers a lot more. The patch supports telomere elongation, which is linked to cellular aging, and helps repair chromosomes. This can help a significant impact on the skin, reducing fine lines and wrinkles, and promoting firmer, more radiant skin.
Wow, that's quite impressive. Now, maybe you can discuss a little bit more about some of its benefits for your overall appearance.
Absolutely. It improves skin tone, brightens the complexion, and restores a radiant appearance. But it's not just about beauty. The Alla Vida patch also supports the frontal lobe and adrenal function, and it improves the function of key organs like the thyroid, liver, kidneys, and pancreas. It's a great tool for enhancing metabolism and overall homeostasis in the body.
Wow, it seems like the patch benefits a wide range of bodily functions. Now, could you please explain how it affects the frontal lobe and hypothalamus?
Sure. Research has shown that wearing the Alavita patch significantly improves the functional status of the frontal lobes and hypothalamus. These areas of the brain are critical for decision making, emotional regulation, and hormone balance. The patch also boosts the function of the adrenals, thyroid, and pituitary gland, and liver, which play roles in maintaining your body's internal balance.
Well, Arthur, that sounds amazing. Is there any data or study that supports any of these claims?
Yes, there are studies that support these findings. The results showed that significant improvements in the functional status is not only the brain, but also key organs like the kidneys and pancreas.
Thank you, Arthur. So how would someone use the Alavita patch for the best results?
The best time to use it is at night, as it's sleep-inducing. It's recommended to wear the patch for 5 consecutive nights, then take 2 nights off. For the best results, place the patch on your right temple.
Got it. Thanks for the tips and great information.
You're welcome, James. Glad I could help.
Please consider supporting Super Soldier Talk by purchasing your own Neo Meditation device. Your Neo Meditation device will help you reduce stress, integrate trauma, enhance intuition, enhance clairvoyance, and enhance creativity. Get yours now at www.neologicaltech.com.